how are you doing in this strange times that we find ourselves living through at the moment?
Very strange at the moment. I'm currently at home. I'll be working at home this week. We're single manning in the office, so we have 3 isolated zones. We have 3 members of staff in the office, one in sales, one in customer service, one in logistics. And then if those phone lines are busy, we redirect into mobiles to people who are home working as well. So we're trying to keep everything moving as best we can.
I mean, is that working okay for you, or is it? It must be quite a challenge, because I'm guessing you've never really had to do anything like this before.
No, we're very much as you know, because you've been up to years. We're quite a close knit, small team. So to split up and work remotely has its own challenges. But we're confident we can make it work. I've had a few phone calls come through today because Andy's in the office doing sales at the moment. And if he's busy, then obviously the calls are then coming through to me here. So I've managed to process a few sales sitting on my sofa as well. So it's all very interesting. The post is still going out. Royal Mail are still working, so we can still process orders and get them out. So we can still take payments. Obviously, the website's fully up and running, and we have full customer service support as well. So if anyone's got any questions or they have any problems, they can still contact us.
That's brilliant. And one of the things that I've noticed is that a lot of companies are kind of adapting to the circumstances. And I guess mail order is a good way of still being able to access your products, even if people can't necessarily go and visit the shop anymore.
That's right. I mean, pretty much the full range of products is available online on the website. There are some holes in the range caused by lack of supply because of the situation we've got. But that's primarily the things that are made in China.
Yeah.
And they're obviously having problems getting them into the UK. But everything else is available online. And we tend to find with our dealer sales, the dealers of ours that have got active and highly visited websites are doing very, very well at the moment.
Yeah.
So we're getting quite a lot of trade orders from the dealers with active websites as well.
Because an awful lot of other model railway outlets do carry stocks of DCC Concepts products.
Oh, yeah, it's quite widely stocked across the industry, with the smaller stores getting their stocks from Gagemaster as our distributor, and then the more specialist stores can get them from us direct. So yeah, it's definitely still busy, and the orders are still coming in, which is great. And the people who are ringing us, in theory, should see no difference in the service that they receive.
Yeah, and one of the things actually you did jokingly say when we did that interview that even though the company's called DCC Concepts, you do an awful lot more than just DCC related equipment. And I've got a few of the things here actually. So I'm going to show them up to the camera. All 3 of these products are products that are equally at home on DC, on DCC. And in fact, actually, the tool I've got here as well is great for DIY jobs around the house that aren't even necessarily anything to do with model railways. But just to show how extensive the DCC Concepts range is, we've got one of the back-to-back gauges here. And it's something that I see a lot on model rail fora. People say, I've got an item of rolling stock. It keeps derailing. I don't know why it's derailing. And back-to-back gauges are the perfect thing to see what is probably the cause for that. For anybody who's got an item of rolling stock or a locomotive that just doesn't want to play ball. And it's... I guess it shows just the kind of really handy tools that DCC Concepts do that aid the modeler in so many ways.
Yeah, I mean, the back-to-back gauge that you've got there, I believe you've got the 00 BB145. I think, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty essential tool in anybody's arsenal because it lets you just check the back-to-back gauges. Even of brand new locomotives that come out of the box, and I'm sure you'll be aware that they're not always 100% accurate, and you get weird things like things derailing over points that you don't expect at all. And just you think it's a faulty product, and actually it's just the back-to-back that needs checking. So that's a really key product, and it's not expensive either.
Yeah, and I'm looking on the box actually. You do them for pretty much every gauge and scale you can imagine. It's not just the usual suspects of N gauge and double O, but you've got EM gauge, P4, 14 millimeter, 12 millimeter. There's such a wide range. It doesn't really matter what you model. I guess one of these is an essential for the modeler's toolbox.
It is. I mean, we supply the EM Gauge Society with their back-to-back gauges and their track gauges as well, because they've said that they're the most accurate that they can get. So we actually supply the Society with their reference gauges. They are very, very high quality. They're very accurate. And as you say, in a number of different gauges, not just the usual suspects. But it's interesting, we also do the 0075 and 0085, which are for hand-built track where you need that extra level of accuracy. Right. So it's not just 14.5. We do a 14.75 and a 14.85 for those who are really wanting to get very, very accurate.
Right, I'm with you. And then the other products as well. I mean, this really intrigued me when you showed me this in action in the shop. And I'm just going to hold it up to the camera. The power base. And I've got a project that I've actually got the piece of wood down here. I'm going to be building a kind of demonstration piece. But it's one of the things that, and I don't know how well it shows up on the video. There's a train going round and it's going up and down some really steep grades. And one of the things that people tend to notice with that is, the locomotive will start skidding and skidding. Doesn't necessarily get traction. The power base product is actually quite an amazing concept for getting your locomotives to go up and down grades much more sure-footedly. But also, you also said in the shop, even on level grade, it's really good for improving electrical continuity as well.
Yeah, what you're doing there is you're increasing the adhesion the locomotive has on the track by putting a magnetic field between the locomotive and the track bed. So there's no electricity involved in that. All you're doing is increasing the downforce of the locomotive onto the track. That has several benefits. Number one is getting up gradients, as you've said. But number two is that it helps you with electrical pickup from the track, because you're creating a stable connection between the wheels and the track. And that has several other benefits, including not having to clean the track as often. So there's loads of benefits as well as just getting up gradients.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, unfortunately on my layout, everything's already ballasted. But certainly when you come to build a layout from scratch, it's a product that I wish I'd known about, because people are probably seeing on the screen this locomotive really struggling up what is actually a 4% grade. And it's like you say, it starts to cause like a black deposit on the track because it's not getting the adhesion that it needs. But the beauty of using this power base system is because it's done through magnets, you're not adding dead weight to the locomotive. So it's not dragging extra ballast weight around all the time. It's only getting that extra adhesion where it actually needs it. Which, it's such a simple idea and yet so effective.
Yeah, absolutely right, Jennifer. It does make a massive difference. In fact, I think if we were at the Alexander Palace show and people were standing in front of us, I would now have a steep gradient, which I believe you've seen in the showroom.
Yes,
with a little a tank engine on there and a very heavy truck full of weight going up and down it. So yeah, it's difficult not being able to show you actually, but it really does make a massive difference.
I know the video that we put out, not the Friday just gone, but the Friday before, where we put out the tour of the DCC Concepts showroom in Settle. We actually do show that demonstration track, and I found it quite amazing to the point where, the project that I want to do is I actually want to see whether it's possible to run a locomotive upside down, because it's very difficult to describe it without people actually being there and feeling the extra pull that this gives. But it was just incredible to feel it was almost like the locomotive was sucked onto the track. The different level of adhesion was just amazing, and it means, I guess, that people can, with this system, they can have steeper grades on their layout. Say if you want to have a descending gradient into hidden storage sidings, a lot of people might think, I've not got the space to be able to get a track to a lower level, but the power-based system kind of allows you to go beyond the what would be considered a maximum gradient to be able to do things like that.
Indeed, I mean, it allows you to do that. It also allows you to pull prototype length trains, so you can have 11 or 12 coach trains running on your layout, which you wouldn't have done before. It also, because we do it in N gauge as well, it allows you to increase the running quality of N gauge locomotives, which is sometimes problematic, as N gauge modelers will all too well know. And even if you're doing a narrow gauge double O layout that uses N gauge track, if you put the power base on that, again, you increase stability of those trains. Yes. So it has lots of other applications. One interesting one was on a slope going down. If you put the magnets on the bottom of a brake van, then the brake van will actually operate as a brake van.
Right. So it'll hold so it holds back the end of the train to stop them. Because I know if you try and run a really long train, and if you're using something like tension locks or even 3-link couplings, you get that problem where there's a tipping point and the back of the train will suddenly accelerate into the locomotive.
Yes. So there's lots and lots of little benefits. Of course, there's the fun ones that you can play around with as well, with magnetism. But generally speaking, the increase in adhesion going up the slopes is the major use of it.
Yes.
Followed by the increase in electrical pickup on the flat as well.
Well, we've got big thanks to Combat Bunny has put a link into the chat. So if anybody's looking for
So you can pick it up, it's all right.
All right, sorry. There's a link in the chat now as well if people want to go and have a look for that product. But the third product that I've got here as well, and this was kind of like the, if there's one tool in your toolbox, then this is it. And the thing that really has sold me on this product, I need to film a full review on this, is the fact that it is so useful for far more than even just model railways. I found myself using it when I'm rewiring a plug, doing things like that. It is a great tool, and this is the wire clipper, the wire stripper, multi-tool.
Multi-tool.
It really is a great tool, and
thanks to the mental image of you rewiring a plug wearing your little cat ears, I think that's made my day now.
Well, yes, I do. If anybody's wondering why I'm wearing silly cat ears, it's Zoe insisted on buying me a set of headphones that happen to be very cutesy. So I know it's probably not the most professional of looks that people are expecting. But
look, I think we all need a smile at the moment.
You saw them and fell in love.
That's it. I must admit that one of my thoughts are that, in such serious times with what's going on in the world, it's sometimes a little bit of light relief and not taking ourselves too seriously is great kind of comic relief for that. But this tool, I think we've got some. There was some video footage.
There is a demonstration of how it works in the video when you went to DCC Concepts. It's near the end.
Yeah, near the end of the video that we filmed our visit to the DCC Concept showroom, we show you this tool and show it in work, and it's just so versatile for being able to cut wires, strip wires. And the thing that actually really impressed me was, say you want to add a dropper to your layout bus. For whatever reason, you didn't plan it from the outset. You find actually that piece of track could work better with an extra dropper. Rather than having to cut the wire and mess about with chop blocks, which in turn add in their own reliability issues, this tool will actually... I was quite amazed when you showed me this. It kind of pulls apart the insulation without cutting the metal core, such that you can then solder to that, get a really good connection without ever having cut the original wire. It's such a versatile tool.
This is it. I mean, this is the tool, Jennifer, that if we take to an open day or we take to a show, if you put it into a customer's hand to actually use it for the first time, 95% of the people like yourself who use it instantly want it. It just saves hours and hours on your back underneath the layout. Trying to gouge out bits of insulation is not fun. So this, you just put it onto the wire, pull the handles, and it's done. It's so easy.
Yeah. And that's it. It's about ease of use, and the fact as well that it kind of incorporates multiple tools in one. So rather than scrabbling around trying to find a tool for cutting the insulation, then a different tool for cutting the wire, another tool for stripping back bits and pieces, it's a one-stop tool that you can do everything. So like you say, when you're lying on your back in the dark under a layout trying to do stuff, it makes that job so much easier. And I know a lot of people don't like doing wiring. It's probably short of ballasting, it's one of the things that people always say as being their least favorite activity. And with this tool, it's making that least favorite activity a lot more bearable, a lot easier, to the point where people don't mind doing, which is what I love about it.
That's right. It does an awful lot of the hard work for you. I mean, don't get me wrong, Jennifer, these aren't cheap, as you know.
Yeah.
But the difference is you could go down to Aldi and get one from the centre road in Aldi for £8 or £9, granted, but it won't have the build quality, it won't have the materials. We've spent an awful lot of time and effort in getting the materials to the point where this will last you the rest of your life. So yes, okay, it's a little bit more expensive than some of the tools that look the same, but as you've experienced because you've used it, it is definitely not the same as the cheaper products.
And that's the thing, it's like the old adage, only the wealthy can afford to save money, and if you buy this tool you never need to buy it again, whereas if you get the cheap ones you end up having to replace them very quickly down the line again and again and again. So it's far better to buy the quality in the first place. And it is a very well-made tool. When you have it in your hand, it feels snug, it feels slick. The mechanism works first time every time. And it does feel like the kind of tool that will just keep on doing what it's supposed to do forever and a day.
I think this speaks an awful lot about what we do as well, Jennifer, as you found out. That yes, okay, we make a pair of wire strippers, but if people go to the website and look at the wire strippers, just click back one level and look at the rest of the tools that are there, because there's quite a lot of purpose-made model railway tools that are on there, which are all of the same very, very high quality. And they're all available, manufactured by us specifically for modelers to use.
Excellent. Right, well, look, it's been great chatting to you, and what I'd like to urge our viewers to do is to go and check out the DCC Concepts website, because there's so much more than just DCC. And I'm just thinking back, some of the other products, you've got scenery products, you've got detailing products. I'm particularly impressed with your range of working lamps, including things like brake lamp tail lights for guards vans. You do a full range on those, don't you, for representing everything from oil lamps from the steam era right through to the flashing LED lights for modern image?
Yeah, that's right. If you want an LMS tail lamp, we've got that. LNER tail lamp, modern image tail lamp that's a white lamp with a flashing red light. We've even got the guard fan lights, which go on the side irons, which have white facing forward and red facing back. We've got those as well. So there's quite a lot there.
That's brilliant, and certainly, I mean, I would have at this point recommended people to pay a visit to the Settle showroom, but of course, at the moment, that's not really a possibility. But the other thing as well to mention is that your products are also stocked by a huge number of other model railway shops as well. So it's really easy to find a lot of these products, and there's really great stuff there. And what I found when I was going around the showroom was you'd find things where it would kind of inspire you to new projects. I mean, one of the things as well I really liked the look of was the point rodding as well that you do, which is a really great way of adding to the realism. If you've got a signal box, if you've got point work signals, being able to add in the mechanism that would make all that work on the real railway.
That's right. That's all to scale as well. All the rodding is to scale. All the chairs are to scale. The cranks have to be slightly larger because they have to throw pico points, which have got quite a lot of travel. But it will actually operate. It's the only scale point rodding that will actually work on the railway. You can retrofit it as well as fitting it when you build the railway as well, because you can attach it to an already motorised point and have that point feed the rodding back to the signal box, which is in some ways a little bit easier.
Right. Oh, so you could basically, it would move as a scenic feature driven by the point motor that's already underneath the point, rather than the point being switched through the actual point rodding.
That's right. And of course, an observer to the railway looking at it wouldn't know whether the point is driving the rodding or the rodding is driving the point. The whole thing will move together.
Oh, right. That is actually a really great idea. But look, it's been great having you on, Richard. Great to talk to you, and I'm going to let you get on. And it's just been really good to just get an insight into the product range of DCC Concepts. And thank you.
Can I drop a quick plug as well, Jennifer?
Yeah, no worries.
So I think some of your users might also be on the Facebook Model Railway exhibition that's going on at the moment, the Great Virtual Model Railway Show. I'm on there with a stand, and we have various different show offers available, which include free postage. So there's 5 show offers. One's for an LMS gas lamp, which you saw in the showroom. One is for the booster system that you bought from us, the Alpha Power and Alpha Box, which you're now running your layout on, which has increased your running capacity quite dramatically.
Oh, very much so.
There's another one for the AEU, which allows you to create a digital switch panel, and for the Pullman lights that you saw when you were there with the tables on. So there's a few special offers on there, which has got price reduction, and it's got free shipping on there, just to help people out, because they might have wanted to come to the show and buy a few things off us without paying the shipping. So we're just doing that as a little a nod to help those people if they wanted to come and have a look at the offers.
That's brilliant. So if people want to go and check that out, that's over on Facebook. And I know, because I've got, there's actually some photographs and video footage of Weir Yard on there as well. So it's a great idea, really. And you know, obviously we've seen Ali Pali get cancelled and a number of other shows get cancelled. So it's really great that the community is pulling together to you know, help people through this difficult time.
That's right, and I'm online there all day today and all day tomorrow. So if anyone's got any questions they want to ask, I am on stand in a virtual sense, so people can just ask any questions they have about any of our products.
No worries, that's brilliant. We've just put a link to that up into the chat room, so people are able to find that. But look, thank you very much for joining us. It's been great to chat with you. You take care, and hopefully I'll speak to you later.
Thank you, Jennifer. Have a good day. Take care.
Okay, you too. Bye.